Every morning, when your eyes open, God gives you a new page to write your destiny on. But most people hand that pen to their habits, their routine. If your days are filled with distraction, your future will be filled with regret. But if your routine is filled with discipline, your future will shine with divine success. The truth is simple. Your future is not built in one day, it's built every day. My friends, we all pray for a better future, a future of peace, success, and happiness. But God does not give us the future we wish for, He gives us the future we prepare for. Every thought, every choice, every habit we repeat becomes a brick in the building of our destiny. If we wake up with purpose, live with gratitude, and act with consistency, even God stands beside us, guiding our steps toward greatness. Today I want to remind you, you don't need a miracle to change your life, you just need a better routine. Because your routine creates your mindset shapes your actions, and your actions create your future. Let's discover how small daily changes can turn an ordinary life into an extraordinary journey. Every morning is not just another sunrise, it is a gentle whisper from God saying, "You have another chance." When you open your eyes, you're being handed a brand new opportunity to rewrite your life, to heal, to grow, and to begin again. But how many of us truly honor that sacred beginning? Most people wake up rushing, complaining, or scrolling through their phones before even thanking the source who allowed them to wake up. We often forget that gratitude is not just a word. It's an energy, a divine frequency that attracts peace and abundance into our lives. When you start your day with silence and gratitude, something magical happens within you. The noise of the world quiets down, and the voice of your soul begins to speak. It's in that calm space that you connect with the higher power, not through words, but through awareness. The moment you open your eyes, take a deep breath and whisper, "Thank you." It's such a simple act, yet it can change the entire rhythm of your day. Gratitude softens your heart, opens your mind, and aligns your energy with positivity. Imagine two people starting their day. One wakes up, immediately checks notifications, compares their life to others, and rushes out with a mind full of worry. The other wakes up, sits quietly for a few minutes, and simply thanks God for life, for family, for health, for another sunrise. Even though both face challenges, the second person walks through their day with calmness and focus, while the first one gets easily frustrated. The difference lies not in what happens to them, but how they begin their day. Gratitude builds emotional immunity. It protects you from negativity and gives you strength to handle life with grace. We often underestimate the power of the morning. It sets the tone for the entire day. When you begin with peace, your mind becomes a garden where positive thoughts bloom. But when you begin with chaos, your day becomes a battlefield. Silence and gratitude are like watering the soil of your spirit. It's a time when you prepare your inner world before you face the outer one. Just as a warrior sharpens his sword before battle, you must sharpen your mind before stepping into the day. Take a few moments each morning to sit in silence, not thinking about problems or plans, but simply being present. Listen to your breath. Feel your heartbeat. That's God reminding you that you're alive, that you still have purpose. When you silence the world around you, you begin to hear divine guidance within you. And in that sacred stillness, ideas are born, clarity appears, and your heart begins to feel light again. The peace you create in those moments will protect you throughout the day, no matter what challenges arise. Gratitude also changes how we see the small things. We start appreciating a simple cup of tea, the sunlight entering our room, the smile of a loved one. Instead of chasing happiness in big achievements, we start finding it in small blessings. And that's when we truly connect with God, not through rituals, but through awareness. Every morning becomes a prayer without words. Every breath becomes an expression of thankfulness. Life is not always easy. There will be mornings when you don't feel like being grateful, when things go wrong, when you're tired, or when you feel lost. But those are the mornings that test your spiritual maturity. Can you still find a reason to thank God even when everything seems dark? Because it is in those moments of difficulty that gratitude becomes most powerful. It doesn't change the situation immediately, but it changes you. It fills you with patience, faith, and quiet strength. It reminds you that nothing is permanent, not even pain. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mornings. Set a small intention, 5 minutes of silence, a few words of gratitude, a moment to breathe and connect. You don't need fancy meditation or rituals, just awareness. The point is not how long you sit, but how deeply you feel. Start where you are with what you have. Over time, this habit becomes your daily anchor. Even if storms come, you remain centered. Remember, gratitude is not a reaction to blessings, it's what creates them. When you thank God sincerely, even for little things, the universe begins to send you more reasons to be thankful. Your energy attracts experiences that match your state of mind. When you live in gratitude, you begin to notice how many beautiful things were always around you. So tomorrow morning, before the world gets noisy, take a pause. Sit in that sacred silence, breathe deeply. Whisper a thank you, not because everything is perfect, but because you're alive to make it better. Thank God for the lessons, for the strength to endure, and for the opportunity to try again. Let that gratitude flow through you, and watch how it transforms ordinary mornings into spiritual experiences. A peaceful morning doesn't come from a perfect life, it comes from a grateful heart. And when you start your day with a grateful heart, you carry that energy into everything you do, your work, your relationships, your goals. You become calmer, kinder, more focused. People around you will feel your peace, because true gratitude glows. It doesn't need to be spoken, it radiates naturally. Start your day with silence and gratitude, and you'll realize that no matter how uncertain the world is, there's always something within you that remains calm and strong. That's your connection with God. Protect it, nurture it, live it. Because when you begin your day with the right energy, your routine becomes divine and your future becomes bright. Discipline is not a punishment. It is the purest form of self-respect. It is the invisible force that shapes ordinary people into extraordinary beings. Many people wait for motivation to strike before they take action, but motivation is like the wind, it comes and goes. Discipline, however, is like the ground beneath your feet, steady, reliable, and strong. When you build your life on discipline, you no longer depend on moods or emotions, you act because your purpose demands it. That's how dreams turn into destiny. Think about the sun. It rises every single day, without fail, whether the sky is clear or filled with clouds. The sun doesn't take a break because it's tired. It fulfills its purpose with divine consistency. That is discipline. In the same way, when you show up for your goals, even when you don't feel like it, you align yourself with the rhythm of creation. God respects those who respect time, and discipline is the greatest way to show gratitude for the gift of time you've been given. In daily life, we often hear people say, "I'll start tomorrow." Tomorrow becomes next week becomes next month, and slowly dreams start collecting dust. Discipline doesn't wait for the perfect time, it creates it. A person who waits for the right mood will spend a lifetime waiting, but a person who acts with discipline turns even small moments into miracles. When you train your mind to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it, you build strength, character, and inner power that no one can take away. Let's take a simple example: waking up early. For many, it's one of the hardest things to do. But every morning that you choose to rise before the world, you are winning a silent battle with your weaker self. That moment of victory may seem small, but it's powerful. It sets the tone for your entire day. You feel in control, focused, and clear. Slowly, that control spreads to other areas of life. You start managing your time better, finishing tasks, keeping promises. That's how discipline transforms not just your schedule, but your soul. Discipline is not about restriction, it's about direction. It's not about saying no to life, it's about saying yes to what truly matters. People often see discipline as a burden, but in truth, it is the greatest freedom. Because when you are disciplined, you are not a slave to your impulses, emotions, or habits. You are the master of your time, your energy, and your destiny. You no longer chase pleasure, you chase purpose. And purpose driven living brings a deep satisfaction that no temporary comfort can replace. Every great person you admire, whether an artist, athlete, leader, or saint, has one thing in common: discipline. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps it open. There are countless talented people in the world who never reach their potential simply because they lack discipline. On the other hand, even an average person with extraordinary discipline can rise above all obstacles. It's not about being the fastest or smartest. It's about being consistent. The slow and steady steps of discipline will always outrun the fast and careless sprints of laziness. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, days when you'll feel tired, unmotivated, or even hopeless. But remember, every time you push through that resistance, you grow stronger. That discomfort is not a sign to stop, it's a sign that you're evolving. Growth never feels easy. Even the seed must break before it can rise into a tree. Likewise, every act of discipline is a moment of breaking. Breaking laziness, breaking fear, breaking doubt. And from that breaking, new strength is born. Look at life itself, it runs on discipline. The seasons change on time. Rivers flow with precision. Even your heartbeat follows a disciplined rhythm. Nature is God's way of showing us that success, peace, and harmony come from order and consistency. When you live with discipline, you become part of that divine rhythm. Your life starts to flow smoothly because you are no longer living in chaos. You learn to manage your emotions, control your words, and use your time wisely. Discipline is also deeply spiritual. It's a way of showing the universe that you are serious about your purpose. When you stay consistent, God begins to trust you with greater responsibilities. The energy of discipline attracts divine guidance. When you prove that you can handle small tasks faithfully, life rewards you with bigger opportunities. The doors that seemed closed start opening, not because of luck, but because of your persistence. In relationships, too, discipline matters. It's the discipline of kindness, patience, and honesty that keeps love alive. In health, it's the discipline of good habits that keeps your body strong. In work, it's the discipline of effort and focus that builds success. In spirituality, it's the discipline of prayer, reflection, and humility that deepens your connection with God. Everywhere you look, discipline is the invisible thread holding life together. There will always be distractions, temptations, and excuses. The world will always offer reasons to delay, but discipline gives you the strength to stay true to your purpose. It teaches you that consistency is not about perfection, it's about persistence. You may fail one day, but discipline helps you rise the next morning and try again. It whispers, "Don't stop now, keep going." So, every time you feel lazy, remember this: the pain of discipline lasts a moment, but the pain of regret can last a lifetime. Discipline may seem difficult at first, but it eventually becomes a joy. Because once you experience the peace that comes from living with structure, focus, and self-control, you will never want to live any other way. When you live with discipline, you become unstoppable. You don't need to wait for the right circumstances. You create them. You don't wait for inspiration. You become it. Your daily actions turn into your legacy. Discipline is not about forcing yourself. It's about freeing yourself from the chaos that holds you back. It's the bridge between who you are and who you are meant to be. And when you walk that bridge every single day, with faith and commitment, you will look back one day and realize you didn't just build a future, you built yourself. Energy is one of the most precious gifts we possess, yet it is the one thing we waste the most without realizing it. Every morning, God fills us with a fresh dose of energy, mental, emotional, and spiritual, to live meaningfully, to create, to love, to grow. But by midday, many of us feel drained, irritated, and disconnected. Why? Because we have scattered our energy on things that do not deserve it. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is sacred. It's about recognizing that not every conversation deserves your attention, not every argument deserves your voice, and not every situation deserves your reaction. Your energy is the fuel of your life. Wherever it flows, your life grows. Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of energy, like the battery of a phone. If you keep too many unnecessary apps running in the background, the battery dies faster. Similarly, when you keep unnecessary thoughts, worries, and people running in your mental space, you feel tired even before doing anything productive. Protecting your energy means learning to close those mental tabs and only focus on what truly matters. It's choosing peace over chaos, purpose over distraction, and calmness over conflict. In our daily lives, we often waste energy on negativity, arguing with people who don't want to understand, worrying about things that are not in our control, or constantly comparing ourselves to others. Every thought and emotion carries energy, and when we constantly think about what's wrong, we attract more of it. Protecting your energy means taking responsibility for your mental environment. Just as you clean your home regularly, you must also clean your inner space, your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. Imagine you start your day happy and focused. You have your goals clear, your mind calm. Then suddenly, someone says something rude or discouraging. You have two choices. Either you absorb their negativity and carry it all day, like a heavy stone, or you smile, let it go, and continue with your purpose. The second choice is how you protect your energy. You can't control how others act, but you can control how you react. The moment you stop reacting to every negative situation, you take back your power. That is real strength, not loudness, but calmness. In life, not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people come to uplift you, while others drain you. You must learn to recognize the difference. When you spend time with those who constantly complain, gossip, or criticize, their energy seeps into yours. You start feeling restless, uninspired, or doubtful. But when you spend time with people who talk about growth, purpose, and kindness, you feel lighter, more focused, and inspired. Protecting your energy also means protecting your environment, your surroundings, your circle, your routine. The people around you shape the atmosphere of your life. Choose wisely, because your company can either be your ladder or your cage. We often think protecting energy means staying away from others, but it's not isolation. It's alignment. It's about aligning yourself with peace and letting go of what disturbs your spirit. Sometimes it means saying no when your heart doesn't agree. Sometimes it means walking away from an argument even if you're right. Sometimes it means keeping quiet when others provoke you. Silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. Every time you choose peace, you grow stronger inside. You begin to realize that happiness is not about getting everything right, but about managing your inner world no matter what goes wrong. Protecting your energy also means managing your thoughts. The mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of gratitude, love, and hope, your life blooms with beauty. But if you let weeds of anger, jealousy, and fear grow, they will choke your joy. You have the power to choose what grows in your mental garden. When you wake up, instead of thinking about yesterday's problems, think of today's possibilities. Instead of feeding your mind with social media chaos, feed it with wisdom, peace, and inspiration. What you consume mentally decides how you feel spiritually. Think of a calm lake. It reflects everything clearly. But when the water is disturbed, the reflection breaks. Your mind is like that lake. When you let negativity, gossip, or stress disturb you, you lose clarity. But when you protect your peace, your mind becomes still and your vision becomes clear. You begin to make better decisions, speak kindly, and live consciously. Protecting your energy helps you see life from a higher perspective, beyond emotions and ego. Let's take a simple daily example. You're driving and someone cuts you off rudely. You can shout, get angry, and carry that irritation all day, or you can breathe, let it go, and move on. Which one keeps your energy safe? The second. Or when a co-worker tries to criticize you in front of others, you can either argue back or smile and respond with grace. Remember, reacting gives them control, but staying calm keeps your power. Protecting your energy is not about ignoring the world, it's about mastering yourself within it. Even technology teaches us this. When your phone's battery is low, you plug it in to recharge. But how do you recharge your inner energy? Through moments of silence, prayer, meditation, or doing something that brings you peace. Spending time with nature, reading something uplifting, or simply sitting quietly and breathing deeply. All these recharge your spiritual battery. Because peace is not found outside, it's built inside. When you protect your energy, you begin to attract people and experiences that match your peaceful frequency. You become more productive, more joyful, and more connected with yourself. You start to notice how light you feel when you stop explaining yourself to everyone, stop arguing with negativity, and stop chasing validation. You realize that your peace is too expensive to be traded for anything temporary. So guard your energy like a treasure. Don't waste it proving, pleasing, or fighting. Every time you protect your peace, you honor your soul. Every time you let go of negativity, you make space for blessings. And every time you choose calmness over chaos, you align yourself closer to God's presence within you. Protect your energy, and your life will naturally begin to reflect balance, harmony, and divine strength. The company you keep is like the soil you plant yourself in. It determines how deeply you grow, how high you rise, and how beautifully you bloom. Every person around you carries an energy, an influence, a vibration that either nourishes your spirit or drains it. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people is not about pride or distance. It's about protecting your purpose. When you walk with people who want to grow, you begin to grow without even realizing it. When you walk with those who constantly complain, gossip, and settle for mediocrity, you slowly start sinking into their comfort zones. Life is too precious to spend with those who do not inspire you to become better. In daily life, it's easy to underestimate how much the people around us shape our thinking. You might not notice it immediately, but their conversations, habits, and mindset gradually influence yours. If you spend time with those who constantly talk about problems, you begin to feel hopeless. But if you spend time with those who talk about ideas, gratitude, and growth, you begin to feel inspired. The environment you choose feeds your mind like food feeds your body. If the food is pure, your health thrives. If it's toxic, your energy weakens. The same rule applies to your company. Imagine walking into a garden. In one corner, the plants are blooming with vibrant colors, full of life. In another, the soil is dry, and the plants are withering. If you plant your seed in dry soil, no matter how strong it is, it won't grow. But if you plant it in rich soil with sunlight and care, it will flourish. Similarly, you are the seed and your environment is the soil. The people around you can either provide sunlight or shade, water or drought, encouragement or discouragement. Choose the soil that helps you grow. Growth-minded people are those who see potential, not problems. They talk about possibilities, not limitations. They remind you that failure is a step, not an end. They push you to rise when you fall and clap for you, even when your success doesn't benefit them. These are the people who light a fire in your heart, who see what you can become even when you can't see it yourself. They don't pull you down to their level, they help you climb higher. And that kind of company is a blessing. But sometimes we hold on to people who drain us because of attachment or fear of loneliness. We keep tolerating negativity, gossip, and criticism, hoping things will change. Yet deep inside, we know that the company we keep is shaping our destiny. If you spend enough time with people who believe life is unfair, you will begin to feel like a victim. But if you spend time with people who see life as a gift, you will start to see blessings even in difficulties. God often sends people as lessons or as blessings. Learn to recognize which is which. Some are meant to teach you what to avoid, while others are meant to help you evolve. Let's take a simple example. Imagine two friends. One spends their time complaining about life, blaming others, and talking about how nothing ever works. The other spends their time reading, learning, and finding lessons in failures. If you spend a week with the first, you'll feel heavy and unmotivated. Spend a week with the second, and you'll feel charged, ready to take action. That's the silent power of influence. You become like the people you spend time with, not because you want to, but because energy is contagious. Surrounding yourself with growth-minded people doesn't mean they have to be perfect. It means they are willing to improve, open to learning, and humble enough to admit mistakes. They don't pretend to know everything. They simply don't want to stay the same. Growth-minded people celebrate your wins and stand by you in your struggles. They don't compete with you, they complete you by inspiring you to reach your higher self. One of the most beautiful aspects of such company is that they challenge you without making you feel small. They speak truth with kindness. They correct you with care. They see your flaws but still believe in your potential. Being around them is like being around light. You begin to shine too. Their presence elevates your thinking. Instead of draining your spirit, they help you align with it. Think about how your life changes when you surround yourself with people who encourage discipline, gratitude, and self-improvement. You begin to dream bigger, act wiser, and speak softer. You start respecting your time, valuing your purpose, and protecting your peace. Growth-minded people remind you that comfort zones are beautiful, but nothing grows there. They make you realize that real love and friendship are not about convenience, but about contribution. They help you become better than you were yesterday. On the other hand, when you stay around negativity for too long, your vision becomes clouded. You start doubting your worth. You begin to accept mediocrity as normal. Slowly, your goals fade, your energy drops, and your light dims. It's not because you've lost your potential. It's because you've been standing under the wrong light. You can't grow in an environment that doesn't value growth. So, take a moment and look around. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Do they lift you up or pull you down? Do they talk about possibilities or problems? Your circle is your mirror. If you want to grow spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, be around those who inspire growth. And if you can't find them yet, start by becoming that person yourself. When your energy changes, your environment will follow. Remember, birds of the same feather flock together, but eagles fly alone until they find their kind. Don't be afraid to walk alone for a while if it means walking toward growth. The right people will meet you on the right path when your purpose and their vibration align. So choose your circle like you choose your future, with awareness and intention. Be around those who water your mind, not those who drain it. Those who speak life into your dreams, not doubt. Those who remind you of your purpose, not your fears. Because when you surround yourself with growth-minded people, you begin to grow effortlessly. Your thoughts elevate, your habits improve, and your faith deepens. You realize that true companionship is not about spending time, it's about investing it in the right souls. And when you walk with people who walk with God, every step of your journey becomes sacred. Pain is not your enemy, it is your greatest teacher. Every wound you carry, every heartbreak you faced, every struggle that made you fall to your knees has a hidden message from God. Grow from this. Life was never meant to be smooth, it was meant to shape you. When you learn to turn pain into power through patience, you transform from being a victim of circumstances into a warrior of wisdom. The truth is, the strongest people you admire did not become who they are through comfort. They became that way through pain. They did not escape storms, they learned how to dance in the rain. Pain often arrives uninvited. It may come through failure, rejection, betrayal, or loss. In those moments, we feel as if everything is falling apart. The mind screams, "Why me?" But patience whispers, "Wait, there's a reason." You see, God never wastes pain. Every tear you shed waters the soil of your soul. Every disappointment is a divine redirection. Pain stretches you, refines you, and prepares you for the next chapter of your life. Without patience, you'll quit before the lesson is revealed. But with patience, you'll see how even the worst moments are part of a divine design. Think of a diamond. Before it shines, it's just a piece of coal, dark, ordinary, and unremarkable. But under immense pressure and heat, it transforms into something breathtakingly beautiful. The same happens with your soul. The pressures of life are not meant to destroy you but to polish you. Yet the key lies in patience. When coal resists the process, it remains what it is. When it surrenders and endures, it becomes priceless. Likewise, when you accept that pain is part of your growth, you stop fighting it and start learning from it. Patience is not about waiting and doing nothing. It's about trusting that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. It is the art of keeping a calm heart while everything around you seems uncertain. In our fast-paced world, we expect quick results, instant healing, and immediate success. But spiritual growth does not happen overnight. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, your soul takes time to bloom. When you rush the process, you lose the beauty of transformation, but when you practice patience, you allow life to mature you with grace. Let's take an example. Imagine planting a seed. You water it daily, but nothing seems to happen for weeks. You might think it's useless and give up. But beneath the soil, something powerful is taking place. The seed is developing roots, creating a foundation strong enough to support future growth. Your struggles work the same way. When you can't see progress, it doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means God is working on your roots, strengthening your faith, deepening your wisdom, and building your resilience. That invisible growth is the most important part of your journey. Pain also reveals what truly matters. When everything is comfortable, we often take things for granted: our health, our family, our peace. But when pain strikes, it awakens our awareness. It teaches us gratitude, humility, and empathy. You begin to understand the value of small joys, a smile, a kind word, a quiet moment. You start to see life differently, not as a series of problems, but as a classroom for the soul. Pain humbles the heart but also softens it. Those who have suffered deeply often love more deeply, forgive more easily, and understand others with compassion. Sometimes, patience means holding your peace even when you're misunderstood. It means trusting God's timing even when you're desperate for answers. You may not understand why certain doors closed or why people left, but one day you'll look back and realize it was protection, not rejection. The universe sometimes removes what you thought you needed because it knows what you truly deserve. Every delay has a divine purpose. The waiting season is not wasted. It's preparing you for something greater than you imagined. Look at nature. No flower blooms all year round. Seasons change. Trees shed their leaves so they can grow new ones. Rivers change their course but still reach the ocean. Similarly, your life has seasons too. Pain is just winter. It feels cold and empty, but it's necessary for your inner spring to arrive. If you remain patient through your winters, your spring will come with new strength, new wisdom, and new opportunities. There's a story of a potter shaping clay. As he spins the wheel, the clay feels pressure, stretching and molding under his hands. It might wonder, why am I being twisted and pressed? But the potter knows, without that process, it will never become a vessel capable of holding water. The potter's pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. Similarly, the pressure in your life is God shaping you into something greater. Your pain has purpose. Your patience is your power. In daily life, turning pain into power means responding with strength instead of bitterness. When someone betrays you, instead of closing your heart, open it wider with wisdom. When you fail, instead of giving up, learn and rise stronger. When things move slowly, instead of complaining, trust that divine timing never makes mistakes. Every obstacle is training you for the blessings you asked for. God will never give you what you're not ready to handle, and patience is what makes you ready. So the next time life hurts, don't see it as cruelty, see it as construction. Your spirit is being built. Your patience is being tested not to break you, but to make you unshakable. One day, you'll look back and thank the very moments that once brought you pain because they shaped the version of you that could handle success, peace, and happiness with grace. Remember, pain teaches you what pleasure never can. Patience teaches you what speed never will. Together, they create the strength to walk through fire and still come out glowing. The strongest souls are not those who never suffered. They are the ones who turned every scar into a story of courage. So, when life hurts, breathe, trust, and be patient. The same God who allowed the storm will also send the rainbow. Every tear has meaning, every delay has purpose, and every pain is preparing you for a future more beautiful than your past. Faith is the light that guides you when everything else seems dark. It's not about seeing the full path ahead. It's about taking the first step, trusting that God will reveal the rest when the time is right. Faith is believing in possibilities, even when logic says otherwise. It's the quiet strength that tells you, keep going, when life tries to convince you to give up. Many people wait for signs to believe, but true faith is believing before the signs appear. It's not a feeling, it's a decision. A decision to trust that something greater than your pain, your doubts, and your fears is working in your favor. In life, we often find ourselves in moments of uncertainty. When plans fall apart, relationships break, or dreams seem out of reach. These are the moments that test our faith. It's easy to believe when everything is going right, but real faith begins when nothing seems to make sense. It's like standing in the dark holding a candle, not knowing what lies ahead, but trusting that every step you take will bring you closer to the light. Faith does not promise the absence of storms. It promises that you won't sink in them. Think of a farmer who plants seeds. He doesn't dig them up every day to see if they're growing. He simply trusts the process. He waters them, nurtures them, and believes that one day they will bear fruit. That's what faith looks like. You might not see progress right now, but that doesn't mean growth isn't happening. Beneath the surface, your prayers are taking root. Your patience is watering them. Your consistency is nurturing them. In time, your harvest will come. There's a beautiful truth: sometimes God delays blessings not to deny you, but to develop you. If everything came instantly, faith would never grow. Faith grows strongest in silence, in waiting, in surrender. When doors close, faith says, "There's a better one opening." When people leave, faith whispers, "Their part in your story is done." When life breaks you down, faith declares, "This is not your end, it's your preparation." It's the art of trusting God's plan, even when you can't understand His ways. Daily life constantly gives us opportunities to practice faith. Imagine losing a job you loved. At first, it feels like the end. Anxiety creeps in, questions flood your mind.